Hello, my name is Stacey Thompson and I'm the founder of the Performance Club. You are watching episode 4 of the Performance Club series, and today we're talking about what is causing mental health issues in the world today. We're talking all things perfectionism. We're talking about how we're conditioning each other in the workplace and throughout the lifetime. I hope you enjoy it, and please tune in for episode 5 next week. All the best.
Stacey, what do you think's causing all of the mental health issues that we see around us today?
In my opinion, it would be people. I think people are creating issues, and because nothing exists in the world, Ken, without people making a decision to either make it or act like it or behave like it. And I think fundamentally what we're trying to do is externalize some of these things because we don't want to look bad or to be perceived as something that we're doing is wrong, when fundamentally there's lots of things in this world that are wrong. And also I think, and we can't shy away from technology, I think technology is a huge player with the fact that that's changing our brain chemistry on a day-to-day basis. You know, fundamentally our phones, and I won't suggest any makes of phones, but they have apps on them, and these apps are designed, they have behavioural scientists behind these apps who are creating things that make you addicted, and they want you to use them more and more. And I think for me, you know, the mere fundamental fact that we're putting the power of our lives and our behaviour and our emotions into the hands of someone who's trying to manipulate those pathways, I mean, quite crazy in itself. So there's people around technology, but there's also how we're being brought up, and also how we're conditioning each other on a day-to-day basis. You know, fundamentally, we can turn around and we can look at families initially, you know, our parenting and our parenting style and the personalities that we live in within a day-to-day basis when we're young. You know, fundamentally, I think when we look at psychology, they say a lot of our underlining stuff comes from before we were 3 or 4, for example. However, we go to school and we spend the majority of our time when we're young, a huge proportion of our day, living around other people who are demonstrating and role modelling different types of behaviours, and then we're going home and our different parents can also provide different parenting styles, and you can begin to develop certain narratives around yourself, certain belief systems. You get values which are imposed upon you based on your own culture and your family, and then you grow up and you potentially end up in a university that also have another set of cultures and values and behaviours, and then you enter into workplaces which are exactly the same thing. So I mean, one of the things that I talk a lot about is perfectionism, for example. So if I can roll through that as a lifetime, you might, from a very young age, you might have parents that work hard, you know, and they're out to work all the time, and they come home and you see them working at home. And you kind of develop a kind of narrative, internal narrative, that work is more important than you at that point. And it might be at weekends, the same thing types of happen. So work's more important than spending time with family. And then as you get older, that narrative becomes work's more important than anything. And then if you think of perfectionism, there's 3 predominant reasons why perfectionism comes. And one is obviously when you do well, you're positively rewarded, and that's positively reinforced. You get, if you do badly, you get punished, right? Nobody wants to be punished. It's painful. And often when you don't experience a lot of negativity as a child, if someone tells you off, that is quite painful and you want to avoid that, right? So then you make a mental note that I will do better so that doesn't happen to me again. So, and that plays out on a day-to-day basis. And then the third one is role models. And I find that these 3 fundamental things, they're not only projected to you from your family and your peers and your teachers and the influential people as you grow up, your experiences, but then when you get into the university and the workplace, you're getting the same types of behaviours happening again. So people are again positively reinforcing you for doing well. They are probably punishing you when you don't do so well, which affects obviously your self-esteem and your core ego. And then fundamentally you're getting role model conditioned by exactly the same people. And not only that, but you're also positively reinforcing yourself, you're punishing yourself, and you're also conditioning and role modeling your own behaviour outwards. So we're entering into workplaces where they are the same as us, and our behaviours are the same. And then we're not getting off the treadmill, and we're not analysing our own behaviour and kind of how that affects not only ourselves but other people. So that's what I would say about that question.
That's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to know a little bit more about me or the Performance Club, please feel free to email me at hello@theperformanceclub.co, and please tune in to next week. All the best and have a wonderful week.